Hey guys, it's Amanda here. I recorded a couple videos before this, but they all got deleted. So I'm just going to do like a summary of what I said in those videos. So, like I said in those videos, my camera screen somehow broke and it no longer records images. So, in the other ones, I said comment below if you want me to put photos in so that you're not just staring at a black screen. And I can also like put music in and stuff, so it's like not just like my voice and like a black screen, and it's not boring for y'all. So then, what I said in the first video was about the prank wars that I had in eighth grade. Well, it was like the end of eighth grade and like the summer of eighth grade. So what happened was the last week of school in my eighth grade year, on that Tuesday of like the last week, I pranked one of my friends with another one of my friends who we're gonna call him Jason because I don't want to say anyone's names because some of these stories can get them in trouble with the police or their parents. So I don't want to say their names. But so me and Jason decided to prank another one of our friends who we're gonna call Mary. So what happened is me and Jason are still really good friends to this day. And what happened was the end of summer, one of the pranks caused some serious drama between me, Jason, Mary, and like our group of friends. So what happened is Mary is no longer in our group of friends. She kind of like gave up on us. Well, actually, no, we gave up on her, and then she realized we gave up on her and she ran off. So like I'll talk about that in a different video. But until then, me and Jason decided to pull a prank on her. So what happened was Jason had brought pudding with him to lunch. So I took and Mary hates pudding. I don't know why, but she does. So I took the lid off the foil, like the foil lid off of the pudding, and when I went over and I walked it behind her and I gave her a hug and she was like sitting. So she was already suspicious because I almost never hug people or like physically come in contact with people unless I'm like playing sports because I do not like to be touched. I don't like being touched and I don't like touching people like physically. Because of I've had a lot of like bullies, I've had a lot of like physical abuse by people who were very close to me, which also caused some emotional trauma too. But so I don't like being touched by anyone, and I've always had like I don't make friends easily either because of it. But so yeah, she was just really suspicious. And she was like, "What are you plotting?" Because usually when I act weird, I'm plotting something. So so I when I pulled out of the hug, I pulled the foil like right across her face. So she had like this slash of pudding on her face. So I don't know, she chased me and Jason around because he was like with me. He was like recording it, so she knew he was a part of it. So what happened was she chased us around the cafeteria until one of our teachers told her to stop. And then what happened is the next day Jason got this really nice pair of like white Jordans. Like they were just all white. And I don't know why you would get white shoes, but he did. So then on the next day after that, on Thursday, the last week of school, so like 2 days after we had pranked her, she decided to prank Jason by filling his locker with like this weird goo stuff. And what it was like really stinky and it was like red, orange, and yellow. So what happened was because she had like dyed it. So what happened was she somehow got his locker combo from somewhere, and she went into his locker like really early before school, and she put it in his locker. And what happened was um it was just in a bottle. So like the teachers wouldn't know who pranked him because she had her hood up. So what happened is she didn't want to look suspicious, so she just had like a water bottle filled with this goo stuff. So what happened is she put it in his locker, and what happened is it has this weird reaction thing. So what happened is she dumped something in it that caused it to like explode after she closed the locker and like could walk away. So it like exploded goo inside his locker. And what happened was it only exploded on one area of the bottle, and it exploded in it exploded at the bottom of the bottle at the part that's facing the door. So what happened is it exploded, and what happened was when he went to open his locker, the goo fell out and got all over his shoes. Like it was literally like covering his shoes. So what he did was he was super mad and he got like detention because he was like super pissed and he was like yelling and swearing in the hallway. And what happened is for his detention he had to clean his locker and the locker below his because it had like leaked down into the locker. So he did that for detention and then went back to like our detention room or our detainment room for the rest of detention. So then we decided to prank her back by using Jason's dog, Bruno. And Bruno's like this really big Akita German Shepherd mix. And if you don't know what an Akita is, like look it up. It's like this big dog and it's like really fluffy. But it's super territorial and super aggressive. So what happened was Bruno wasn't as aggressive, but he was just as territorial. So what happened was we decided to put Bruno inside of Mary's older brother's car. Mary has her emergency license because her older brother, who's in college, is her guardian. So because both of her parents are not around anymore, and I will probably not tell you why her parents aren't around anymore because that's personal, and I don't want her to get mad at me, even though we aren't friends anymore, just because I said something about her parents online. So her parents have always been like a really sensitive subject for her, just as how I don't like to be physically touched has always been like a sensitive area for me. But so like her brother who was 19 is her guardian. So what happened is she drives him to school. She drives him to his job because he can't go to college. He goes to online college, so that he can get a job and like support them because they both have jobs, but they're like hers doesn't pay well, but his does. So they live in an apartment together. And what happened was so she drives him to work and then she drives to school and then she drives to her job after school. So what happened was her older brother, who we're gonna call Tommy was in on this prank. So what happened was we put Bruno inside his car, like in the front seat. So he was just sitting there, like it was like really early in the morning. It was like Thursday night. It was either the Thursday or Friday night when we pulled this. I think it was Thursday night, the night that she pranked, the night after she had, okay, so the night of the day that she had pranked Jason. That's confusing. So what we do is we put Bruno inside her car, and then the next morning, we put him in there at like 3 in the morning, and she had to leave at like, she leaves at like 7 whenever Tommy doesn't go to work, because he didn't have to go to work. He doesn't have to go to work on Fridays or Saturdays. He does have to go on Sunday though. That's how he got it set up and stuff. So like when she gets home, she can just relax, and he's already got everything done for like dinner and stuff, just because he's cool that way. So then, so what happened is she left at like 7. She usually leaves at like 7 on Fridays. So I mean, she went out to her car and she opened the door, and Bruno, he like lunged at her. Like he didn't bite her. Like he knew her, so he wasn't gonna bite her, but he did a lunge at her because he was sleeping, and then like she had like suddenly opened the door, so he was like freaking out. He was like, "What is going on?" So then he lunged at her and then got really annoyed, and then what happened is I whistled and he ran over to me and got into the back of Jason's older brother's SUV, because that's how we got Bruno to her house. That's how we got Bruno to Mary's house. I'm gonna mention Jason and his brother a lot more, so we're gonna call Jason's older brother Gabe. So Gabe was like our getaway driver, and he actually had no idea what we were doing before we actually did it. So he didn't know we were pranking someone. He thought we were like dropping Bruno off somewhere so that he could like do something. I don't know, because we do that sometimes. We'd take Bruno over to someone else's house so that he can get used to new environments, and he is not like, always like freaking out when we take him to new places. So then so she got really mad at us, and then she pranked me back. The next 2 weeks later, she pranked me back, and I'll tell you how that went in the next video. I have to cut this off here. Sorry, but I have to go. I have softball practice in like half an hour, so I have to go. Bye.